Devi Khadgamala Stotram, as the name itself suggests, Khadgamala, Khadga, sword, Mala, weapon, right? Mala is garland, so like basically a garland of weapons. That is the significance of this stotram. Now, it actually means that Mahashakti, Parashakti who is there, she bestows or she puts a garland of swords upon those who recite it. Now, what is the meaning of this is she protects those bhaktas who surrender to her, who are worshipping her, who are showing their bhakti towards her. And basically, this Devi Khadgamala Stotram, if you go through the meanings deeply, we will look at that later, of course. It takes us through the Sri Chakra Yantram, which is like a geometric representation of Parashakti. Now, this yantra, the Sri Chakra Yantram, those who are familiar, it consists of about 9 parts. Each one is very secret. It seems it has got a central portion which is popularly called as the Bindu, that is the central part of the yantram, in which Parashakti resides there in the form of Kameshwari. And it is joined, it is believed that it is joined with her consort, that is Kameshwaraha Paramashiva. And we as bhaktas, we have to make our way towards the Sri Chakram in the center part, where while we go towards the center, we have to bow down or we pray to different aspects of the goddess. They are called as 98 yoginis also, yoginis also, who guard the various power points that are there of the chakra as we move along that. So right from outside part till the center where Parashakti resides, Kameshwari resides, we are all moving towards that. And while we are moving, we are thinking or we are reciting these mantras which actually represent the 98 yoginis. And we think about each of these yoginis in order to become a form of the goddess only. So like there are 98, right? So I think about one, then I go to the next, then I go to the next, and finally I reach the goddess in between. So this is the symbolic meaning of Devi Khadgamala Stotram, a very very auspicious, very very popular stotram. If today we are all got a chance to learn it, it has to be the grace of Parashakti only. So therefore, this stotram, like we all know, if you would have just opened and gone through it, we know there are certain bija mantras that are there, nyasadi mantras which are chanted. If you are familiar with that, you can do that. Like we popularly said, you need to be initiated to do the, whoever is initiated into the Sri Vidya Upasana, they will obviously going to chant it in a different way, but we are just going to chant it as a normal stotram also. So directly we are going to start with the stotram. We just start the dhyana shloka and then we are going to start reciting the stotram. You can also do the nyasa part, there is no problem in that. Yeah. Now Shakti, if you would look at the further meaning of this stotram, Shakti is, or Devi, she is a form who denotes power or energy, right? So it can be both positive energy as well as negative energy. I'll give you a very simple example for this. We are all, say for example now, for most of us in India it is morning, right? So we are all just beginning our day, right? Or maybe people who are outside also, maybe now it is late night for you, you are ending your day, right? So both the times if you see, our energy levels are going to be different. Maybe at this moment our energy is quite positive because maybe we are doing something good, but later maybe after 15-20 minutes or so, once we end our session, maybe there is going to be some argument that's going to come in, or maybe we look at some news also, there is going to be some kind of distraction, maybe some negativity might come in, right? But again, say after some time, maybe after an hour or so, maybe you get to hear some good news or something, again positivity comes in, right? So throughout the day, if you think about, right from morning till late in the night before we go to bed, it is a mixture of positive and negative energies, right? So this is nothing but a form of Parashakti only. In fact, as per Shaktism also, it is a popular belief that is said that there is nothing called as positive or negative energy at all. Energy is always there. It is just the way that we look at it, right? Like that's the reason we say, right? It's just the mind that tells us anything. It's just the way that we look at things, right? So therefore, for this I will share a personal example that I experienced yesterday with all of you, maybe later. Now, like just as in science also we study, right? Everything that matters is energy also. Shaktism says all is energy. So all this is there. So therefore, Shiva is said as all consciousness, that is Purushaha, and Shakti is the energy. So both together when they come, that's how the universe is there. Like I always give you a simple example. We all have life, right? We are all being blessed with a body. But if there is no energy to lift the body, to use the organs of the body, it is useless. So therefore, we need both. We need our physical body, we need all the body parts intact, we need the mind, intellect, everything is needed. But at the same time, we need energy to make use of that. Anything that you do, you will have 2-3 things with you, but if you don't have the energy, you don't have the resources to use that, it is very, very useless, right? So therefore, Shakti is something which is there in each one of us, and with sadhana also, with spiritual practices, we move closer to the goddess by using this Shakti. So therefore, this Devi Khadgamala Stotram helps us in riding, it seems, helps us in going along with Parashakti in order to become one with her. So therefore, the sword or this Khadgamala that is there, it gives the energy to the reciters of the shloka, which will help us to move towards Parashakti, ultimately to attain self-realization and moksha. That is the last of this, that is the main Palashruti part of this stotra. Basically, it means that it cuts off, just as a khadga or a sword cuts off. Similarly, it will cut off all our attractions also. It will even separate our body from the mind. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to kill us physically. Don't look at it in this manner. The symbolic meaning behind this is we get a realization, like it is said in the Gita also, that just as Shankaracharya in his Bhajagovindam says, Bharya bibhyati tasmin kaye. If life goes away from their body, one's own wife will also start fearing it, right? So that is, only till life is there, a person's body is valued. After that, it's just a piece of flesh, right? Nobody is going to keep it. But till life is there, we are taking care of that body very nicely, we are respecting each other, we are even thinking of that person. But it might be a very close relation, but if life goes away, we are not preserving that body, right? It's just a piece of flesh, we have to go and decompose it. That's it. So therefore, this thought that is there, saying that the mind inside or the Atman inside is the one that is supreme and body is different. So Devi Khadgamala Stotram again further talks about this. And so therefore, it is a power of knowledge. It is a garland of these different ideas of Shakti that come together. Now further, there is also said that now there are many stotras with regards to the goddess that we know. Why? What is the significance of this Devi Khadgamala Stotram alone? Is because it is not very complex, it is not very big, time consuming also. At the same time, it is a stotram which talks about this Shri Vidya only, that is the Meru, which we all worship, and also the 9 chakras. Ultimately, in between you have Kameshwari and so on. I am not telling you in detail about the Shri Yantram now, we are just looking at it on a very base stage. Yeah. So therefore, this stotram that is there is a very small recitation for those who are like people like us. Maybe we are not initiated into this Sri Vidya Upasanam and so on. It is just a small recitation that we do. In fact, it is said that all the sadhana of Sri Vidya, it can be achieved by the recitation of this Khadgamala Stotram. Now that doesn't mean that it is replaceable also. Whoever is initiated or whoever is familiar with the Sri Vidya Upasanam, you can definitely chant it in that way also. Yeah. So basically, this Khadgamala Stotram, it talks about the various forms of the goddess, how they are worshipped. A simple meaning being, in between, like I told you, you have Kameshwari, and in order to reach that Kameshwari, we have to pass on through different yoginis, about 98 yoginis. So yoginis are nothing but different forms of the goddess only. And this Khadgamala Stotram talks about those different 98 yoginis that are there, which ultimately help us in reaching the central part of the Sri Yantram, that is Kameshwari. Further, it is said that while we recite this now, in fact, if you just look at this, the structure of this Khadgamala Stotram, you go down, you see that there are, after we chant the Bijam, Om Aim Reem Shreem, Aim Kleem Sau, Namastripura Sundari, then you have Hridaya Devi, Shiro Devi, Shikha Devi, Kavacha Devi, Netra Devi, Astra Devi. It's not in the form of a shloka, right? So here if you see, there are 6. Then you have something called Tithi Nitya Devi. Then you have something called Divya Gaurava Devi, and so on. So different forms of the goddess, they are described here. Later maybe I will also tell you about these 98 yoginis in detail. Now this, whatever I am sharing, whatever little I know I am sharing, you can also go deeper into this and think over it on a very, I don't want to go too much deep into it. Maybe I'll not be the right person to tell you more about it. Also, it is something where at this time, before we learn the stotram also too much, if we get into the philosophical part, it might be confusing also. Yeah. So what is the Khadgamala Stotram? Like the conclusion part also is, as we recite each nama, it seems that we must, like the six names that I just chanted now, the Devi, Shiro Devi, Shikha Devi, Kavacha Devi, Netra Devi, Astra Devi. When we recite this, it seems that every portion, it's a yogini's portion of the Sri Chakra Yantram that should actually come in our imagination, it seems. This power that comes in, like for example, you chant any stotram, right? Let it be Lalita Sahasranama, or let it be any stotra that we chant, that nama or that imagination comes in, right? Say for example, now if I'm telling you, just I said Lalita Sahasranama, automatically a picture of the Lalita Sahasranama book or Lalita Devi, it comes in our mind, right? Or maybe I say Narayanyam also, automatically a picture of Guruvayurappan or the Narayanyam book comes in front of our eyes. What is this? This is nothing but imagination, right? Or when we say Srimad Bhagavatam, automatically the thought of Krishna comes in. Why these things are happening is we are always associating things, right? If you think deeply over it, though I say, now all of you are just listening to me, right? At the same time, maybe you have a book in front of you, but still, every word that I'm speaking, every word that you're hearing is creating a picture in your mind, right? Because you see, we are always visualizing things. It's not just that I see with my naked eyes. Inside our mind also, we are creating a picture, right? That's the reason you hear something, automatically that name flashes it, right? Or we have a picture in our minds. Say for example, now maybe we don't have our videos on, right? But still, if, say for example, all of you are talking about me at any point of time, something you're talking about me, my picture is always there in your mind, right? Or about any person also. When I call out your name or anything, a few of you I have seen, maybe there might be few, maybe I have not seen you by your face, but still there is, whoever I know or I have seen your picture, automatically that comes in our mind. So with regards to Devi Khadgamala also, what is said is, whenever we chant every nama, that the picture of that goddess should come in our imagination. That itself leads to bhakti. The goddess, it seems that she is deeply in love with you. It seems with her bhaktas, also with Shiva, and therefore there are commentaries which say that don't worry if your recitation is awkward or so, or if your pronunciation is bad, that's fine. But you should just dismiss all these things, like these doubts that come in. That doesn't mean that we chant something wrongly, but all these thoughts that come in our mind, it is just a thing that don't be afraid. You just simply begin your journey for the goddess today, no matter how you feel. As you keep chanting, automatically power, bhakti, everything will come along. We are all there to help you. Goddess says, Bhavagraha Janardanaha. Bhavagrahi Janardanaha, meaning Bhagavan understands the feeling and the intention behind things, and he does not bother about the mistakes. What ultimately matters to Janardana is the bhavam which we do. So therefore, while we are also reciting about the Devi Khadgamala Stotram, you do not have to put in a lot of efforts to say, rack your brains or so, I'm not able to concentrate, this, that, should I do it this way, should I do it that way, should I chant the Bija Mantram? Don't get into all this confusion. Do whatever is possible. Let us all chant it as far as possible as bhakti that we do to the goddess. Automatically the result will come in. Moreover, some might feel that it is very difficult to recite a particular stotram. I am not able to concentrate my mind. Not only for Devi Khadgamala Stotram, for anything that we do, all these things doesn't matter. The goddess takes care of these automatically as we proceed. Yeah. Now, when should this Devi Khadgamala Stotram be chanted? You do it every day. You do it on a Purnima, do it on a Panchami, do it on auspicious days like Navratri, also every Tuesday, Friday, Yatha Shakti you can do. Sometimes people, they also take it as a prarthana when, like you think, right, there's some problems or something that come in, like a prarthana shlokam. I'll recite this for so many times, so many days also. That way also you can take this up. So anything that you want, it is said that Devi Khadgamala Stotram blesses one with miracles also. All this depends on personal experiences, right? So there are in fact people and bhaktas who say that things are fulfilled, you get out of mainly all kinds of mental worries also, and the stotram will protect us, nourish us, and so on. Yeah. Now basically it is also a mala mantra. Now what is a mala mantra? It is a mantra having more than 1000 aksharas also, right? So it is also said that the original text of Devi Khadgamala Stotram is lost, it seems. People do not have access to that till date. But in the course of time, now basically this is a text which has come to us through Shaktism, right? Through Shakti practices. So therefore, the originality of this text can be lost in the course of time, but whatever we know now or we are reciting now, which is very popular, is something which is there for thousands of years together, right? So this is all about this Devi Khadgamala Stotram. Ultimately, the conclusion of this stotram is the goddess, she blesses her with the best of her grace. It is just the way that we look at things. If we look at things very positively, things will automatically come to our plate, right? So the way we look at things is something which is very important, that matters. Like I told you about the experience which I will share with all of you, which happened with me yesterday. It was a very, very small thing, but I don't know how far. I'll just tell you the way that I took it. If we believe, that's how it is, right? So just nothing but the way Bhagavan comes to our rescue whenever maybe there is a certain problem also. So just about yesterday's incident. So you know the Guruvayur Krishna, right? The blue color big idol which might be there in few of your houses. The big idol that we have of Krishna, usually it is in blue only that people buy. The Vigraham, I'm talking about Krishna, right? So I had a wish that we should buy that in our house also, but it was just a random wish that was coming in and just going away. But then so every month it was, no, next month let's see, next month let's see, maybe there's not much place, this and that things used to come in, right? But then day before yesterday I felt that no, finally let us take this up, about that 2 feet or 1.5 feet or so. So it's not very big also, you can keep it in our the puja area, of course in the kitchen area that is there, so it's okay. And finally I just got through an online site or so. I asked them the price, this, that, the photos, everything, and of course she also shared me the details, and then I decided that okay, let us do it, right? And she also shared me all the details. I had asked for some photos, of course that is awaited, right? So this just thought came in our mind. I just left it there. Yesterday I had to go for an official meeting or so, like a kind of an interview, you consider, like interaction, right? So in the morning, quite nearby, but still to go by, take an auto also. So we had to book an auto. So there also the driver who came in, the auto driver who came in, his name was Krishna. And on the rickshaw also that it was written as Dwarakadish Krishna, right? So again in Mumbai you get the normal autos also, but yesterday I felt okay, let me book and go, because I had to go. So then if you don't get an rickshaw again, it will be a big problem. So that was there. So I went, and then the interaction was also quite good, and then there it came out to be very, very positive, right? And then the thing also went off well, and it was almost on the last stage of selection, right? So I just went for one interaction that is there. It went about well. The first round was good, the second round was good, and ultimately it was like almost you're selected, right? So a very, very small experience that came in. But then later, all this happened in the morning, right? And then I went to my own place of work also, and then by night I was back. So at night when I was thinking through the things that were there, now I don't know how each one of you take it, but the way I look at it is, thought came in that I should buy an idol of Bhagavan. Second is, in the morning the driver who came in, his name was Krishna. The name that was written on the rickshaw, that was Dwarakadish Krishna. And also for the interaction that I went out, it became quite fruitful also. So maybe Bhagavan showered his grace this way, right? So it is just the way, a very, very small thing, but the way that I looked at this experiences, maybe the Lord came to our experience, our rescue, or there are innumerable ways in which Bhagavan comes in, right? So why I shared this experiences, it's just my own experience, but Devi Khadgamala Stotram, this gives a conclusion saying that if we look at a very positive manner, the goddess will definitely come to our rescue. It's just the way that we look at things, just the way how the mind plays a game also, right? So that is the essence of this Devi Khadgamala Stotram. If we look at the goddess as our guide also, or if we feel that she is there in every step of our life to guide us, the goddess is definitely there. Yeah. So this is all about the Devi Khadgamala Stotram. Next time onwards we will start learning the Stotram.